We are at Lethbridge College. I'm joined by Alderman Faron Ellis, recapping this week's City Council meeting. A couple of things to go over today. We are starting with a new home for the Southern Alberta Ethnic Association. What happened there at the council meeting?
Well, it's been a long time in the works. The original plan was to essentially rebuild the Kurgan Center on the north side. Part of that original arrangement was the Southern Alberta Ethnic Association had to raise about $1.5 million, and the grants that were potentially available didn't come through. So there wasn't that component that they needed to raise. So the opportunity came up with the fire station, the downtown fire station, moving into the new central #1 hall. That building became open for use, and as it turns out, given the size of it and the renovations needed, it would make a much better home for the Southern Alberta Ethnic Association at a reduced cost. So we amended the capital improvement program because it is already slated to be done. It was just slated to be done on the north side. That gives a tremendous use for that building on the entrance to downtown. Right. Some councillors are arguing that it could be a business could make a better use of it, but looking long term, there's going to be some major widening of 6th Avenue, and there isn't good access for customers at the front, right? So the access and the parking is around the back. Right. So much better use made of it by the Southern Alberta Ethnic Association. It gives them a home in downtown, and it has will create a nice anchor on that southern end of downtown as you head into the core. So pretty much win all around. The project costs less. It'll be a much better facility for the Southern Alberta Ethnic Association, and it will give a lot of new life, especially in the evening hours, as people attend meetings and functions there to that southern part of downtown.
Now, do we have a timeline for when that would all happen?
We're headed into next year. I mean, the plans will go forward. And this was part of the discussion, if there is a need for some further amendments or alterations, we do have time to do that because they'll go into the detailed design stage next, and it'll likely be 2014 before we see any real activity on construction there.
All right, one topic down, 2 more to go. The next one we're moving on to the transit terminal, looking at a bit of an upgrade. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, substantial upgrade that'll allow for transit to be housed more centrally, the buses, facilities for the buses, and depending on what happens with the transportation master plan, if we continue with bus service, and therefore increasing as the city grows at the current service levels, this facility will be adequate for the next 25 years. If this council or future councils decides to dramatically increase bus service, then it will only have a lifespan of about half of that. But nevertheless, under the current level of bus services that we're offering, this will be a facility that will be in use and will meet the needs of that end of the operation for the next quarter century. Excellent.
All right, that one was quick and easy. And our final topic, last but certainly not least, sewer system enhancements are coming.
Yes. With road enhancements, and one of my concerns was, given all the road construction, North Scenic Drive extension, this 28th Street and 26th Avenue expansions, how many bottlenecks are we going to create for Northsiders to get to the north side? Administration assured us that they will be done in phases and there shouldn't be overlap, so there will be some traffic inconveniences, no doubt, over the next little while. It's sort of the short-term pain for the long-term gain for north side commuters. But essentially what happened was the transportation master plan included these expansions of the roads. That was done prior to us knowing exactly where the sewers needed to go in order to hook up that eastern part. I mean, we're talking about sort of the far northeast part of the city, but it has an impact and is designed to integrate with the expansion that's planned on the far southeast side of the city. Okay. So the sewer system connects, and it'll take time to build all of that. But essentially, it was a choice that council had to make. Do you want to put in these sewers now, only a couple of years ahead of schedule? They will be necessary anyway, but better to do them now rather than redesigned the streets, widened them, put new asphalt on them, and then a couple years down the road have to go and tear them up. I mean, we see grand examples of this throughout, North America, the world, of, urban governments doing these sorts of things, and we thought, at least a majority of council anyway, thought that it would be silly, and we would justifiably criticized if only a couple years after having put in these brand new, beautiful streets, we were tearing them up in order to put in sewers. Doing it now also will save us about $1.5 million to $2 million. So there's cost savings. It's infrastructure that is necessary. It's just being advanced by a couple of years. The other option was to delay those roads, and those roads have already been delayed. The people on the north side are desperate to get better traffic flow through on 26, and 28th Street is one of the major accesses to 26th Avenue.
Okay, so this is kind of a kill two birds with one stone kind of thing.
It is, and save a few bucks for the taxpayer along the way.
Awesome. Well, that always helps too. That's a look at this week's City Council meeting. If you can't make it down to City Council every other Monday, you can tune into Shaw TV at 1:30.